Hi, Anuradha. It's such a good thing to have you on the show. You are a social worker and work at a non-profit organization. So, in brief, can you introduce yourself and elaborate the charity that you're working for and what it does?
Sure. Thank
Yeah,
you so much, Akash, first of all, for this opportunity to have me at your show
it's
and
my
to,
pleasure.
giving, thank you, and to giving a voice to our initiative. I hope your viewers and your listeners, through your viewers and listeners, we are able to broadcast our views and our principles and our motives and visions,
Right,
catering to this particular organization. Talking about myself, by profession, I'm into human resources and talent
right,
acquisition. And being associated with this NGO, it's been 3 months now. I'm a volunteer and I'm also working at an advisor level.
mm,
Um, Given my background in human resources, so I'm assisting them with the general, human resources processes in terms of aligning interviews, offer letters, and providing certain templates so that even if when I'm not there, the process continues. There's a proper structure to those things.
right.
And in by being a volunteer, I over here at their branch at Sector 43 Gurgaon.
At Highlight,
um,
right?
Yes, at iLight,
Yeah,
I teach kids. Talking
right.
about iLight, so this is a nascent organization, I'll say,
Mm,
and but our vision and our goals are big. We over here, through this organization, want to provide the underprivileged children of migrant workers the best of the opportunities when it comes to education and health, because as we know, education is the most powerful tool by which we can change the world. Nelson
mm,
Mandela's quotes, not mine. um, and that is the essence of our organization, and that is the
right.
vision. We want to help these children with opportunities so that they themselves become leaders
Mm,
of the future and make this world a better place to live, really.
right. So, what are the steps that you guys take to further your goal?
Well, to begin with, see, our we have many programs over
Uh,
here which are catering to education and health.
mm,
And then there are leadership initiatives that we are taking. And then there are channels like Speaker Series, wherein we invite experts and they talk about certain topics which which have this impact on their education or health in general.
mm,
So to give you an overview, we have food distribution programs wherein we provide nutritional food to these kids. Then we have certain branches wherein there are educational classes being undertaken, where they, of course, we make sure that basic learning capabilities are enhanced,
right.
mathematics and reading, writing. Along with that, we are trying to help them on an emotional and mental level as well through various workshops. We have psychologists who come in and do certain workshops on a weekly basis.
Mm,
Then we have leadership classes going on online and at on premises as well,
right.
wherein these kids are given certain moral values, or their leadership skills are enhanced through different initiatives and ways and means.
Mm,
So that's in a sense what we are doing at this point of time.
it's wonderful. So, the
Thank you.
topic that we chose for today was that you believe that there is an inherent goodness in all of us, right?
Yes.
So, could you elaborate on that, please?
Sure. Um, so when While I was pondering, of course, I'm a firm believer in the fact that there is an inherent goodness in all of us. And when I was pondering over this topic a little bit more, the best example that I could come up was with, what you see during calamities.
Right.
When Bhuj earthquake happened, when there was flood in J&K, when there was flash floods in Uttarakhand, or when there was landslide in Kerala, what is the and tsunami?
Hmm.
What is the common thing that you saw? People came across to help each other, undermining what sort of background they are coming from. Language didn't matter, caste didn't matter, religion didn't matter, social
Hmm.
status didn't matter at all. These are the times when we see the actual phase of humanity. The goodness, inherent goodness within us. We try and help each other. You see it presently during the war that is happening, Ukraine and Russia. People across the world are happening, are helping um, these citizens of
Hmm.
Ukraine who have to fled their country for no reason, no fault of theirs. But people are coming across to help them. Again, there are no borders which are stopping them, right? Charities are functioning across the globe to help them. Then there is no identity of being a citizen of so and so country,
Right.
or being brought up in by so and so, or race for that matter,
Hmm.
right? So that's why I believe that yes, there is an inherent goodness in all of us. And one more example that I'll give you, this probably will relate to everyone. When you hold a newborn child in your arms, in your lap, your all your emotions, negative emotions, will just go away. When you look at that particular child, when you're holding it on in your arms, you will just feel good. There'll be a smile, your heart will just be there looking at his or her eyes. So that's the basic example of the goodness that I can give you.
Okay. So that's a very good point. But how about when some people, maybe not due to their fault of their own, are born in the wrong circumstances that makes them go into darker paths? So,
Right,
what steps or help? What kind of help can you recommend for these people?
right. So first of all, Akash, I can whatever circumstances you're born in should not define you, and should not be a limitation on your potential. Of course, it's easier said than done. Um, if in case you're born in a slum, it's very difficult to keep that positive mindset given the lack of resources that you have. But at the
Hmm.
same time, we have so many examples of people who have come from that particular background with with least to no resources at all, and fate just being against them, with such a bad environment, not just lack of resources, but people around them not being supportive at all. uh, but humanity and human self, as a person, you are more than capable of fighting these circumstances. It's just that you have to keep faith in yourself, do the right thing, make sure you're not leading yourself onto the wrong path,
Hmm.
and keep working hard. I can give you example of the best example which come to my mind is Oprah Winfrey. I love her, and
Hmm.
she talks about herself like a black woman in that point of time in
Hmm.
US, uh, wherein I mean, racism was at its peaks, and it was out there. Now it's underlined, but it was out there at that point of time.
Hmm.
And born to a single mother, uh, and no support at all. just her grandmother, and look at her.
She's a worldwide
Look at
name.
her.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not just a worldwide name, it's just not about popularity, but the
Hmm.
good she is doing to the
Right.
world.
Right.
She is helping, she's so she turned her circumstances
Hmm.
as her strength.
Hmm.
Her, if in case you look at her, Black woman, born to a single mother,
Hmm.
and raised by her grandmother. So what resources she had, right? But now, that the lack of support that she felt, she's giving back to the society. She has so many schools for young Black girls across South Africa that she's supporting. She's making sure that those girls are getting educated, and given the opportunities that they absolutely deserve,
Hmm.
right? So that's how it should be. That's how it
Hmm.
should be. And another name which comes to my mind is, um, if in case we talk about within country, look at uh, Kalam sir's life. Rameshwaram, it is the end of our country almost. And what school he went, he went to school bare feet, I think till class 5th or 7th, if I'm not wrong. Look at the life he had.
Hmm.
Not in terms of, again, not in terms of, I'm not saying we should never chase popularity or money. Of course, you should focus on getting basic amenities for yourself.
Hmm.
But the attitude of service that these people have, and that's what we are trying to, we as our motto at iLight is, you know service, attitude with the service, for the service of people around us. And that's what we want to build in these children. The leaders that we
Right.
are trying to create for future should have this motive, very right moral compass. That is the need.
That is so nice because you're not only giving them resources, you're also empowering them so that they can further help other people. Right.
Exactly.
So,
That is the plan.
yeah, I would like to ask you that, okay, there are few people who fought against odds and achieved their name in the society, right? But many underprivileged children do not have the awareness that maybe they need education, right?
Right.
So, as individuals who have a good background or as a corporate social responsibility, what all steps should we take to give them this awareness and maybe show them our support?
Right. So awareness can all, there are different means to create awareness,
Hmm.
Akash. You can have examples, you can have significant figures to look up to. Like, we can, the way that I quoted these two names to you,
Hmm.
same thing can be advertised, same thing, we can go to them, see, this is the person who was like you in similar circumstances, and look at his or her life at this point of time. So they'll feel motivated. Then leading by example, you become the example yourself. Go amongst them, and just be present. Do not teach, just be present there, and the children will look at you. As kids, we used to look at our teachers and we used to learn from them. Similar thing goes, similar examples. And then, of course, then you can make sure that you provide them means, as in books, right, to read, to know, gain knowledge. So you can share videos, you can, and then you can do certain activities which make them realize, oh, this is important. You include these kids in, um, say, a play, nukkad
Hmm.
natak. They, this will instill a sense of confidence in them, and then you give them a
Right.
prize or a recognition, and they'll know, oh, okay, this is also a way of life. Okay, yeah, I can be recognized for my uh you know um uh, like, my creativity.
Right.
you create certain groups wherein give them opportunity to teach. Say suppose we find, oh, this is what I do, at least in my class that I teach. So I create groups. We have sections of students who are about in first and second standard, and then there are students who are about fourth till seventh standard. So what I do is that I make groups of these small children around 4 5 years of age, and then
Mm.
7 to 12, and
Right.
then make one leader out of the elder
Mm.
ones,
Right.
and they teach the smaller ones, the smaller kids.
Right.
So what it does, Akash, it makes them feel, okay, I'm the leader, right? I can teach them. And eventually you learn by looking at each other, by sharing these skills. This is how you do inculcate such values in them, or make them realize, oh, education is important. See, if in case just coming in one class I can do this, I'm getting recognized, what will happen if in case I study properly? That's what.
Okay. Okay. Why are children below the age of 18? I mean, they are children, obviously below the age of 18, but why are they your primary focus? Are they the most vulnerable group?
They're the most vulnerable group, but at the same time they are the children, if in case they get empowered, right, by
Hmm.
the right education, right means, they are our future. And other reason is scientific. We have had so many studies. A kid's brain is the most imaginative
Right.
and most creative, and ideas are being
Hmm.
formed from 0 to 7 years. That's the as like the most of your brain functions are developed at that point of time. After that, neuroplasticity comes into the picture when
Right.
you are hitting your teens, till up to the age of like
You're
about
pursuing your
19.
master's also, right? In psychology.
Yeah, in psychology,
Right.
that's a field of interest. And
Right.
then till 25, your
Right.
brain is
Right.
eager to
Forming. Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's what in the world of neuroscience is a firing and wiring. That's how it works,
Right.
right?
Right.
Your neurons are created like this, and that's why kids are so they are
Hmm.
able to learn things quickly. And if in case you give them four languages, they'll learn. I mean, if in case
Hmm.
you in between 0 to 7 years, but after that it becomes very difficult. After 25 years of age, it becomes very difficult.
Hmm.
So there are both the reasons are there. Yes, they are the most vulnerable group. We absolutely need to make sure that in that particular stage, that support is provided. And
Hmm.
then B reason is that at that age, it's highest possibilities of inculcating the right kind of education is possible. So
Hmm.
that's the answer to your question.
Right. Okay. I wanted to ask you, how can poverty be eradicated? But instead of that, how can begging be eradicated? Because children are often associated with begging and they have to skip education to go out and perform
Right.
such an activity. What do you
Right.
Yeah.
So begging, if you see around yourself, there are mostly you'll find two kinds of beggars. Who are doing it because their circumstances are such, as in they are
Hmm.
the poverty has stricken, or they are disabled,
Right.
right? Um, so for both, again, for disabled, we need to make our society more inclusive. That is a separate section altogether. I mean, we can discuss this about this in we can give lectures, and we can have a
Right.
discussion for about 1 or 2 hours, as in how to make our society more inclusive for the specially abled group of our country or the world, in fact. But coming to the poverty part, so as per me and our founders at iLight, we again relate poverty to education. It's the best means or resource that we can provide or give to these children or even to adults for that matter, by which they can come out of those circumstances. Of course, education for adults is a separate topic. It can
Hmm.
include vocational trainings, skill-based trainings, and things like that, which the government of India is taking a lot of steps and initiatives to. I'm pretty sure that that is helping in many ways. For children, that is the focus at ILIGHT,
Hmm.
that we want to provide them again education, and holistic education, not just doing maths or basic reading
Can you
English.
elaborate on holistic education?
Yes, absolutely, would love to.
Yeah.
So when we say holistic education, and I'll quote this because I'll quote on national education policy, which was devised and given in 2020.
Yeah.
It speaks of it, right? And in our and our a couple of months back, in fact, our Chief Justice of India, he quoted that the current education system is not enough to build the character of students that this country or the world needs. So holistic education, Akash, is just not the fact that you pass your 10th or 12th and do your BTech or whatever course that you are into, and get an education and get a job and make money, and get yourself into retirement. During this time, what are you doing, right? You just spent your life chasing something which probably might give you happiness, might not give you happiness again. Um, and in this process, you might have hurt people, you might have hurt their emotions, you consume so much from the environment, uh, and you don't give back to people, to society, to environment, anything, right? So these children, the younger generation that we have, and including us, it's our responsibility to understand that education is just not supposed to be taken to get a job. It's more than that.
Hmm.
It's about respecting others. It's about making sure that you have the right values. It's about respecting nature. That is how you will solve the problem of climate change. That
Yeah.
is how you will probably solve the problem of plastic waste. That is how you will probably solve the problem of wars, poverty, hatred, crime, and so many other things. Education without conscience is of no good. And we are seeing that in the world today. And we want to change that.
How important is the role of authority figures like parents and teachers, after which children can model their own behavior? Do they also form a part of education?
Absolutely. We know from many research papers and the studies that have been done, modeling, I
Hmm.
mean learning from others'
Yeah.
behaviors, right, is one of the main sources of
Hmm.
um, education, not education but learning, for
Right.
children especially, even for adults, but for children especially, right? uh, there have been so many studies wherein children have been shown violent advertisement, and if in case if in case they see that that behavior is being rewarded, they
Hmm.
they
Right.
uh,
Get
right,
the reinforcement.
they
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
to, exactly, hey, they
Yeah.
try to emulate it,
Right. Right.
which is, and so it's very important. Parents,
Hmm.
teachers, surrounding people around you, the kind of behavior they are projecting, it's important. That's why uh, these days kids learn to work on mobiles, or uh, they're why they're so much on mobile, because they see their parents
Right.
every time.
Right.
That's what they're doing. Like 1 year, 2 year of old kid, he doesn't know technology, but she'll take it. She'll look at the video and she'll feel happy. Parents will give it, give the phone to their children, and and they'll think, oh, okay, we have done our job.
Related to this, I
Right.
was having a conversation with a psychologist. So she focuses on children, right? So she told me that when parents shout at their children, their personality gets shunned. So what happens is they repress their emotions. They are frightened to go to the stage, to speak out in public, and things like that. So then they model, if their parents fight with each other, they emulate this behavior in the future, like if they're dating or if they're in a relationship. So they will use these methods as a means of coping up. So yeah,
Right.
it is. If a father smokes, the child is more likely to smoke because he's likely to copy his behavior, right? Okay.
Right. I agree to it. But I also feel, Akash, that we shouldn't limit ourselves because of this. Like, what happened
Hmm.
to you in your childhood or what kind of parents you have should not limit your possibilities.
Hmm.
You can change yourself and your circumstances at any point of time, but for that you need that awareness. Okay, so my current thought process is so and so because it happened, such thing happened to me in the past. But that doesn't mean that I'll continue to I'll continue to indulge in this behavior even now that I know, okay, this is the reason. Now,
Right.
when you should you should try and change that behavior towards the good.
Right.
That's how powerful awareness is.
Hmm.
And you can take help of psychologists, of course. At least I don't feel ashamed of uh, putting myself out there or being vulnerable. I think being vulnerable is the most it's a defining feature of strength.
Right.
So and but again, this is for adults. For children, this thing should be a part of their curriculum.
Right. Right. Right.
I'm not sure, and again, I it shocks me that why these things are not being taught to us when we are
Hmm.
kids. To understand your emotions, to accept your emotions. Okay, you have that anger within you. So why is it so? How can I channel it for better?
Hmm.
How can I not shout on that other person because it will not lead to any good? It will not lead to my good or his good. How can I use that anger towards creating something? Anger is an emotion often in our society is projected as bad because the repercussions are bad, because we project it in such a wrong way. We shout at other people, or will throw something at someone. That is not how it should be used.
Hmm.
Rather use it for your own good,
Right.
right? So such emotions, again, this what I'm trying to put across is that uh, emotional awareness or understanding yourself better should be a part of the curriculum, and that is what we are trying to do at iLight. We have one psychologist who come in who teach children to understand boundaries, to understand
Hmm.
emotions. So that is the plan, and we want to do it on a bigger scale.
So how can people incorporate this into their awareness? Like how to be in touch with their emotions, like by meditation or something like that?
Yes, one of the medium can be meditation. Then other medium can be
Therapist?
therapies, talking, writing, putting
Right.
down your emotions on papers, talking to someone, sharing your emotions, but with the right person who is educated.
Right.
or trained. I think these are the means wherein, we can, by which we can include, we can, we can, yes, we can include these,
Right.
this sort of one of the pedagogy. We can make this a part of a pedagogy for children.
Right. Okay. Do you think prisoners have a chance at reformation?
I'm sorry, what? Can you repeat your question?
Am I audible?
Yeah. I missed the one word that you
Okay.
said.
Do you think prisoners have a chance at reformation?
Business.
Prisoners have a
Business
chance.
has a,
Prisoners.
yeah. Okay, prisoners. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's fine.
So sorry. Yeah. Prisoners, absolutely. Akash.
Okay.
Um, the best example that I can think of at this point of time is because I'm a big fan of Kiran Bedi, and she's one of the pioneers when it comes to prisoners, prison reforms or prisoners reforms in general across the world, not just in India. So when she was
Okay.
posted at Tihar, um, uh, she herself took this initiative, and the results were drastic. What she did was include meditation,
Hmm.
prayers, some basic vocational trainings, and jobs for the inmates of Tihar. And those people saw drastic results in their personality. They were more happier, they were calmer, there were less instances of violence within the prison, just by making sure that they are including themselves in activities which seemingly are meaningful.
Hmm. That's the important part.
That, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So what happens, and to my limited knowledge and view, I'm not a trained psychologist, but I think for me, my viewpoint is that when these prisoners, or when they're accused, either
Hmm.
they're accused or they're held guilty.
Hmm.
So, and all of them are, put into the same place for some
Hmm.
unfortunate reason in our in our country. So they lose a sense of meaning. Also, there is an inherent thought, okay, I've I've done something bad. Either they feel it or they don't feel it at all. When they feel it to the extent when, we have suicidal cases in prison. They
Hmm.
use means to, take that drastic step. But at the same time, there are, cases of unprofound change. I mean, murderers changing themselves in transforming themselves into pastors. They realize that there is a force above everything else, and they start teaching the same thing eventually when they release, or even within the prisoners, within the prison. So yeah, I mean, to come back to your question and answer it in brief, yes, there is very, very highly likely possibilities of reforms. I mean, prisoners getting reformed into, and being a valuable part of the
Hmm.
society. It's highly likely. We have seen this so many times, and Kiran Bedi's example I already gave you.
Right. Do you believe in the philosophy of karma?
It's a very interesting question, and to answer your question in brief, yes, I do. And so karma is, what I want to ask this question to you. Let me take this
Right.
opportunity. What do you mean
Right.
by karma? And I'll give my viewpoint.
Okay. Karma is getting back what you have done.
Mhm.
Isn't it? I mean, I'm not an expert.
Yeah, me neither. But But yes, to an extent, what you said is right. Karma is, you can say that, what you give comes back to you.
Hmm.
And but at the same time, it might not come back to you at that point of time itself.
Right.
It might come back to you after 40, 50 years. So until then, you'll keep on doing bad.
Why are you asking me? I don't know.
No, no, no. I'm not. A question to the audience, probably.
Right.
So, um, so karma, yes. I mean, yes, I do believe it
Hmm.
in that philosophy. But at the same time, you do things by the intention of it. You judge someone by the intention of it, right? My philosophy is that I'm here as a God's child, and my duty here is to do, or rather serve society in the best possible way that I can, to the best of my capabilities. That's it. That's all. Good, bad, ugly, that's people to decide. My intentions are to serve society to the best of my capabilities, to become the best person each and every day that I can be.
Hmm.
Strive for excellence. There is no perfection, but thrive for excellence each and every day. Make people smile when someone meets you. He or she should remember you as a good person, good, vibrant person who brought a smile on my face, and I had a very good conversation with that X, Y, and Z.
Hmm.
That's it. That's all I care for, really. Because at the end of the day, right, we're gonna die. And though it's a pessimistic way to look at times people say to me, but I think it's
But
very
that's
empowering.
realistic.
Yeah, you're gonna die one day. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how much wealth you create for yourself or for
Hmm.
your children. But it is very important that what value you instill in them, because those value will drive their future and
Hmm.
society. Wealth wealth is a collective, I'll say it's a it's like a
Arbitrary.
myth we have created. Yeah,
Yeah.
like money is what? It's a
What
myth
we assign
only, but
value. Yeah.
it's a collective myth because we have
Yeah.
given that importance.
Right.
Same thing, if you give, what if value becomes a currency?
You
Say
would be
you
ahead of
do
us.
good, you do good, you'll be promoted. What if? So it's just a way to look at life. My essence, I already told you, that's how I look. That's what my philosophy of karma is.
Hmm. Right. Okay. As someone working in talent acquisition, do you take goodness of a person in account when hiring them?
Absolutely, we do. And every company that I've worked for, at some or the other scale, uh, take these things in account. Every company has a different mode of working and different value set, of course,
Hmm.
but more or less they align towards the similar things. Say, doing the right thing, having an inquisitive mind, having a collaborative approach. Will you be able to work in a team or not? Are you appreciative of others? How do you handle conflicts?
Hmm.
All of these things, these are very general behavioral aspects that we look at when we are interviewing someone, and at all levels. And it's very important whether or not you adhere to those values once you are inducted in the company. That's completely your choice, but from a talent acquisition point of view, we try to do our best to judge someone on those skills.
Hmm. Okay. Last question I want to ask you. Where is the line you draw between selfless and selfish act? If a person, say, develops a medicine to cure cancer and makes profit out of it, so is it a selfless act or a selfish act?
See, medicine have been a part of the society since ages, time immemorial, right? I mean, we are fathers, forefathers. I mean, different sorts of medicine, different ways to treat uh, um, people. So similar thing goes to, is what we see now, drugs or medicines or your vaccines. No, nothing against them.
Right.
Against is the profit part of it. How much profit? How much profit do you really want to make out of that business? That is what the point of discussion should be. You can make, general vaccines, generic vaccines.
So technical issue. You were saying something about profit, and it should not be made for making of drugs, right?
Yeah, no. Akash, profit, yes. You should make a business. Why businesses are set up? Businesses are set up
Right.
for with the intention of profit making. But
Hmm.
how much is what we have to really think. I mean, we
Hmm.
have 1% of the population sitting at 90% of the world's wealth.
Right.
That's inequity at like crazy inequities, especially after 2000s that we are seeing, the 21st century. What, that kind of inequalities that has brought into the society is crazy.
Right.
So with every business, no one is against with the idea of profit making, but at the same point of time, how much really is what where should line should be drawn. That's what, with any business, not just drugs. Of course there's a moral compass in the whole health business, considering
Right.
people's lives are at stake. uh, but I think same principle goes to any business, at least from my side,
Hmm.
that it should be equitable. The wealth distribution, profit making should be in a way which respects the overall um, distribution of wealth in a society. I mean,
Right.
everyone should get a share of the pie, to an extent, howsoever like possible. And rest, of course, then there are initiatives which these corporates can take,
Hmm.
CSR these days, and but CSR should not be just for the sake of it. It should actually really change lives, should have an actual impact. So that's it from my side.
All these woke campaigns that are happening by big brands, not changing anything, but actually showing that they care.
No,
So very nice talking to you. I'll just stop the recording here. Right.
it was a pleasure speaking with you, Akash. Thank you.
Pleasure was mine.